Optimizing cargo launches to the moon by me, CEO of Mac and Cheese. So, before we go on, let's go over our current capabilities. At least with Starship. So, 200 metric tons of cargo for 8 launches of refueling mission for 1 cargo mission. This is all Starship, by the way. It has to actually land, increasing fuel requirements or decreasing payload size, especially if reusing the Starships are a requirement. If as many launches for cargo are used, will only allow for only 40 cargo missions, totaling to about 8,000 metric tons of cargo to the moon in a year, which would require 320 fuel launches, leaving only 5 launches. This leaves no room for people launches. So, here's my plan. We'll make use of a solar electric cargo tug launched from a singular starship in low Earth orbit. This tug can carry 100 metric tons of payload. The vehicle itself, with fuel and all of its solar arrays, and plus payload, be 150 metric tons, with it requiring 40 metric tons of fuel. Pretty light. Granted, this math is probably, well, never mind, okay. Doesn't require as many refueling launches, i.e. no refueling launches, but it'll take 1 year for the cargo to get to the moon. Advantages. As before, requires less fuel launches for the same amount of payload, or, yeah, being 80 launches for 1 year's worth of pure Starship cargo launches. Payload sizes can be scaled with both the launch capacity of a reusable Starship and it can increase with specific power of solar arrays and a higher specific impulse if arrays are powerful enough. Now we are only limited by how many people can be sent to the moon and how many people can that amount of cargo support. Cargo mass can in theory be increased if vehicle goes slower. Or disadvantages. Takes a year for the payload to get to the moon, but that isn't a bad thing necessarily. It is slow, can probably be stolen or get uploaded by space debris, but this is unlikely. SpaceX probably won't be happy with this, or they will. Granted, they're the main vendor of this. Only has launch provider. Only has enough fuel to get to the moon and not back, though this won't be an issue if you use all the parts. And cannot land on the moon, only get into lunar orbit. This can be fixed by having a dedicated manned and unmanned lander, even if it's more complex. Launch cadences, total cargo mass, fuel, and people launches. Each people launch carries 200 people each. Once a week, launch cadences means 52 launches a year. The highest launch cadence that can be fit into a year that gives room for people is 4 times a week, coming in at 20,800 metric tons a year. To support a little less than 2,600 people a year. Even then, that'll only add up to 325 launches a year, leaving 40 open launches for other vendors. For near-term capabilities, in conclusion, for near-term capabilities, pre-moon colonization optimizations that can be done that are cheapest is to offload most of essential but not emergency cargo missions to slow electric cargo tugs, which will increase our total mass a year from 8,000 metric tons with no room for people up to 20,800 metric tons, while leaving room for people and 40 extra launches, or 36,500 metric tons a year for no room for any people. And that is it, really.